15 September 1940. Over the coast of Kent, a German bomber crew spots something extraordinary through the haze. At first, they assume it's a Wellington, or perhaps a damaged aircraft limping home. But as it draws closer, the silhouette makes no sense. The nose is grotesquely bulbous, the fuselage absurdly thick, and mounted beneath the wings are four enormous cylindrical pods that look like nothing in any recognition manual. The bomber's rear gunner swings his MG-15 around, preparing to engage what appears to be an easy target. This ungainly machine looks like it can barely stay airborne, let alone pose a threat. Then the turrets open fire. The Bristol Type 156 Beaufighter erupts with a volume of firepower that shocks even veteran Luftwaffe crews. Four 20mm Hispano cannons and 6.03 Browning machine guns converge on the Heinkel HE-111, tearing through aluminum and control surfaces in seconds. The bomber's starboard engine explodes. Within 8 seconds of the first shot, the German aircraft is falling towards the channel, trailing black smoke and fragments of wing. The Beaufighter, despite its brutish appearance, banks smoothly and disappears back into the coastal murk, already hunting for its next victim. The Germans have a new problem, and it looks absolutely hideous. By late 1940, the Luftwaffe has grown accustomed to operating with relative impunity during night raids over Britain. The RAF's existing night fighters, converted Blenheim bombers, and outdated Defiants lacked the speed to catch modern German bombers and the firepower to destroy them quickly when they do. Fighter Command desperately needs an aircraft that can carry the new AI Mark IV radar, mount enough weapons to obliterate a bomber in a single pass, possess the range to patrol for hours, and fly fast enough to intercept anything the Luftwaffe can field. The problem is that no such aircraft exists, and developing one from scratch will take years Britain doesn't have. This is the story of how the Royal Air Force transformed an ugly, improvised hybrid into the most feared night fighter of the war, and why German bomber crews learned to dread the sight of that grotesque silhouette emerging from the darkness. The crisis facing Fighter Command in autumn 1940 is stark and numerical. During September alone, German night raids drop over 7,000 tons of high explosive on British cities. RAF night fighters managed to shoot down fewer than a dozen bombers that entire month. The success rate is catastrophic, roughly 1/6%. Bristol Blenheim IF fighters, pressed into night fighting duties despite being designed as day bombers, simply cannot catch Heinkel HE-111s or Junkers Ju-88s cruising at altitude. When they do manage an interception, their 4.303 machine guns lack the punch to bring down a bomber before it escapes into cloud or darkness. The Bolton-Paul Defiant, with its 4-gun turret, hits hard enough when it connects, but its turret adds such tremendous drag that German bombers frequently outrun it. More damningly, the Defiant has no forward firing armament whatsoever. A night fighter that must maneuver beneath or beside its target to engage is worse than useless. It's dangerous to its own crew. Pilot Officer Desmond Hughes writes in his diary after a fruitless patrol in November 1940, "Chased a Heinkel for 20 minutes, gained on him for the first 10, lost him for the next 10. Never got close enough for Freddie to draw bead. Watched him drop his bombs on Coventry and fly home. We might as well be carrying stones." The equation is brutally simple. British cities are burning, civilian casualties are mounting into the thousands, and the RAF cannot stop it. Airborne radar sets are becoming available, crude but functional devices that can detect bombers at ranges up to 3 miles under ideal conditions. But the aircraft needed to carry this equipment, whilst also mounting devastating firepower and maintaining high performance, does not exist. Designing a purpose-built night fighter will require at least 2 years of development and testing. Britain will not survive 2 more years of unopposed night bombing. The solution emerges not from a clean sheet design, but from an act of inspired improvisation at the Bristol Aeroplane Company's facility in Filton in early 1939, well before the night bombing crisis becomes acute. Bristol's design team under Roy Fedden recognizes an opportunity. They are developing the Beaufort torpedo bomber, a capable but conventional twin-engine strike aircraft. Simultaneously, they are working on the Hercules radial engine, a powerful sleeve valve design producing 1,400 horsepower. Chief designer Leslie Fries proposes something radical. Take the Beaufort's wings and tail, marry them to a completely new fuselage designed around heavy armament, and power the whole assembly with the new Hercules engines. What emerges from Filton in July 1939 is the Type 156 Beaufighter, and it looks like nothing else in the sky. The fuselage is deep and slab-sided, necessary to accommodate the four 20mm Hispano cannons mounted in the belly and the radar operator's position behind the pilot. The nose is stubby and blunt, giving the aircraft a pugnacious, thuggish profile. The wings, borrowed directly from the Beaufort, look oddly delicate attached to such a brutish fuselage. When fitted with the bulbous AI radar antenna beneath the nose, the Beaufighter resembles something assembled in a scrapyard from mismatched components. The aesthetic disaster conceals revolutionary capability. The four Hispano cannons represent more hitting power than any fighter in the world carries in 1940. Each cannon fires 600 rounds per minute of 20mm explosive shells, each round carrying 0.12 kilograms of high explosive. A 1-second burst delivers 40 rounds into the target, nearly 5 kilograms of explosive detonating across the enemy's airframe. 6 additional .303 Browning machine guns in the wings add over 5,000 rounds per minute of ball and tracer ammunition. The combined weight of fire is staggering, roughly equivalent to the broadside of a light warship compressed into 8 seconds of continuous shooting. The Hercules 6th engines, mounted in close-cowled nacelles, push the Beaufighter to 330 miles per hour at 15,000 feet, faster than the Heinkel HE-111's maximum speed, and nearly as fast as the Junkers Ju-88. Crucially, the aircraft's 1,500-mile range allows it to patrol for 4 hours or more, loitering in patrol boxes offshore and over convoy routes, waiting for radar operators on the ground to vector it towards incoming raids. The fuselage is strong enough to carry the AI Mark IV radar's transmitter, receiver, and display equipment, whilst maintaining structural integrity during violent combat maneuvers. Bristol's production facility at Filton begins manufacturing Beaufighters in July 1940, with additional production commencing at Weston-super-Mare and at Fairey's facility in Stockport. The first operational aircraft reach RAF squadrons in September 1940, though teething troubles with the Hercules engines delay full deployment. By December, 29 Squadron and 604 Squadron have converted to the type and begun night operations. Records from the period suggest approximately 50 operational Beaufighters are flying night patrols by the end of 1940, though exact numbers remain classified in contemporary documents. If you are finding this interesting, a quick subscribe helps more than you know. The Beaufighter's operational debut reveals both its devastating potential and the steep learning curve required to employ it effectively. On November 19, 1940, Flight Lieutenant John Cunningham of 604 Squadron achieves the type's first confirmed kill, destroying a Junkers Ju-88 over the Midlands. Cunningham's radar operator, Sergeant John Phillipson, guides him to within 400 feet of the German bomber using the AI Mark IV set. Cunningham opens fire at 300 feet range. His combat report is terse. Fired 3-second burst, both engines on fire. Aircraft went down vertically. The entire engagement lasts 11 seconds from first visual contact to the Ju-88's destruction. This becomes the Beaufighter's signature,
overwhelming, instantaneous violence. Unlike earlier night fighters that peck away with rifle-caliber machine guns, hoping to inflict cumulative damage, the Beaufighter obliterates. German bomber crews who survive encounters describe cannon shells exploding through the fuselage like grenades, severing control cables, igniting fuel tanks, and killing crew members at their stations. Luftwaffe intelligence reports from early 1941 note with alarm the appearance of a new, heavy twin-engine fighter armed with automatic cannons. They have no idea how many Britain possesses or where they will appear next. The German aircraft's fight against the AI Mark IV radar system was an uphill battle, despite having many units and pilots. They had previous experience fighting British bombers, but the built-in radar set allowed the new model of British fighter